Hello everyone, Just Podcast TV is here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified on new contents.
Episode 288. Anger. Luna suggested changing the company's name to Yellow Flag Group, which really pissed Mac off. He slammed the table hard, causing the pen in the pen holder to jump out. It was enough to show how strong he was and how angry he was. Luna, please pay attention to your words. Mac was furious, but Luna did not use the oil-saving lamp. After Mac finished patting, she took off her high heels and knocked on the desk with her heels. After knocking on the desk, she shouted angrily, "Oh, only you know how to knock on the desk? I chose you to be the chairman because I wanted you to knock on the desk. Do I choose you to knock on the table or to hit the drum? If you have the ability, follow Heath up the table and hit the table. Why are you hitting the table with me? Is this my fault? It's Heath and the rest who are at fault, not me. You even slammed the table with me? You think you're making sense now? Are you trying to show off your authority?" As the chairman of the QZ group, he was extremely angry at Luna. He felt his blood pressure rising and his vision turning black. After a while, only then did he stabilize himself and slowly calm down to lower his blood pressure. He really admired the daughter of his old leader. She was simply hot-blooded and knew what she was talking about. But Luna's words were not only choking, but also spicy. Indeed, the one who was at fault in this matter was not Luna, but she, Luna, slammed the table. It was very unreasonable. After taking a deep breath to calm himself down, Max said, "I have been working hard. Who doesn't want their business to be good? Do you think I don't want it? I didn't even dare to read the news about us when I went online. I know everyone is scolding me. They are calling me a shit-eater. They call me a stupid pig. They say that even if they really find a pig and place it in my position, it would still be more useful than me. But what can I do? What can I do? Heath, as you can see, the group of people led by him refused to let go. What can I do? Ah!" After a long sigh, Mac waved his hand and said, Forget it. I won't tell you this anymore. I will think of another way. You are free to leave." Luna grabbed the documents and walked out of the chairman's office. But when she walked to the door, she turned around again and looked at Mac, who had white hair on his temples. It was not easy to be the chairman. Thinking of Mac's hard work all these years, and her attitude just now, Luna felt a little embarrassed. "Sorry, Chairman, Get lost, don't stay and annoy me. Just looking at you, and I will get angry." Mac directly kicked Luna out. But after the door closed, there was still some doubting on her face. It was not only because Luna was the daughter of the old leader, but also because Luna was the one who really wanted to build a good business. If everyone in the company was as capable, courageous, and motivated as Luna, how good would that be? Unfortunately, this could only exist in hope. It was only a beautiful reality that existed in hope. When Luna left Mac's office, Heath also went to find Zach, who was working in the workshop. The police came to arrest people in the factory and sent them back. They even gave proof to the relevant departments, which made Zach famous. And as for the group's executive vice president, Heath, he naturally knew about Zach from various channels, as well as his true identity. Therefore, he came to find Zach as someone who knew everything about him. However, after seeing Walker, Heath felt a little unhappy. The rock in his outhouse was really stinky and hard. It had been turned from a workshop director to a squad leader, yet it still did not beg for mercy. Heath was very disgusted by this kind of person who had a very tough bone. Because he was not this kind of person, he was even more disgusted. However, he didn't come here today because of Walker. It was because of Zach that Heath called Zach away. In a remote corner, Heath said very calmly, "Director Marquez, since you came to our company, you should know who I am, right? I don't need to introduce myself." Heath's tone was very calm, but his attitude was very tough. He should have known Director Marquez when he came to their group. Zach asked rudely, Who are you? Episode 289. He did it. Heath was about to get straight to the point, but he didn't expect to hear such a thing. He was very unhappy, but there was nothing he could do. He could only introduce his name and identity. Zach came to a realization. So it's Vice President Heath. I'm sorry, I'm really blind to not be able to recognize you. I'm really sorry. Hearing this, Heath was furious. He hated it when people called him Vice President Heath. He really didn't like it. He said, Director Marquez, I won't turn the tables on this matter. I'll tell you privately about our company's decision. After the company's research and decision, our QZ group doesn't agree to form a partnership with your dream automotive company. However, personally, I still admire the hydrogen energy power system in your hands, so I can help you recommend it to other large companies. This way, your research will not be in vain. As for me, I'll just give you a little bit of my heart's content. You know, this factory is amazing. The sales are very good. If you can cooperate with them, your hydrogen car will soon be sold all over the world, so that you can quickly accumulate wealth. Zach asked with a silly smile. Really? How much profit can they give me? Heath saw that Zach was silly and thought that there was a chance for this, so he put up a big plan. They are a big company after all. How about this? They had originally decided to give you 30% of the profits. I will help you to secure 40% of the profits. Don't underestimate this 40% profit. That large amount of a profit will make anyone rich beyond their wildest dreams. As an owner of a small business, you should have this bit of intelligence. I have a counteroffer for you. Heath was in the middle of a beautiful moment. He was calculating the profits he would leave behind for the future. How awesome would that be? He would have plenty of money. However, he never thought that Zach would give him such a sentence, so he thought he had misheard and asked in surprise. What did you just say now? Zach said, You like to hear curses, right? Then, raise your dog ears and listen carefully. I have a counter offer, you moron. He enunciated each word without hesitation. Every word was stained with blood. Keith was stunned. You scold me? Zach said, Do you think I'm praising you? You are really a complete idiot. You don't even need to support me. Keith was furious. He had never thought that this spoiled rich second generation named Zach would dare to scold him. You dare to scold me? I dare to hit you. Do you want to cry? When Zach rolled up his sleeves without hesitation, Keith was so scared that he stepped back. He had been brave when he was young, but all these years, his belly had grown up and his courage had fallen. Especially when he saw the bulging muscles on Zach's arm. He instinctively felt that his arm was full of strength. If it hit his head, it would definitely be very painful. Of course, smashing other places would also be painful. He retreated and said, Let's have a good talk. Beating people up is illegal. Zach really did not know how to judge this guy. When you crushed a rival company and had all their employees laid off, you didn't consider the law back then. You used it like a cudgel and forced others to fear what you don't even dare to care about. Heath could not answer this statement. However, he had other ways to guarantee his safety, and this new idea made him very brave. Don't be crazy. Let me tell you, no matter how crazy you are, I won't cooperate with you after this lousy technique of yours. If you don't believe me, you can try. Zach clicked his tongue. What a tough nut to crack. Who wouldn't want to cooperate with this lousy technique of mine? You are such a stubborn person. Why don't you go up to the sky? You act like you are the smartest man alive, and everyone else is too stupid to see the world for what it is. You're nothing but scum, and are worthy of thinking you are so smart? Zach went on, and on top of that, he even went on to scold Heath. He didn't give Heath any face at all, and it made Heath furious. Episode 290, My Hero. While there was someone in the distance, Heath quickly ran towards that direction. It had been hard on him, but that fat body was still able to run. Not only did he run, but he also shouted as he ran, "Don't even think about working with that lousy technique of yours! Don't even think about working with anyone!" Zach did not only teach him a lesson. If he really did teach him a lesson, he would never be able to bring it up in his entire life. Spitting out a mouthful of saliva, Zach turned around and left, ignoring Heath. Zach took out his phone and called Larry. "Carson won't have much time here. Larry, arrange for experts from other countries to come over and apply for a patent for Dr. Dusty's hydrogen power system. Then, you can announce it to the whole world." After hanging up the phone, Zach lit a cigarette. How could he not know what Heath wanted to do? He wanted to use some connections to confiscate the technology and then transfer the technology to other companies in an abnormal way. After work in the afternoon, Zach called Lena and asked her out to have dinner and talk about cooperation. Luna did not refuse. Regarding this kind of proper business, she naturally would not refuse. After meeting at the restaurant, the two of them found a private room. After all, it was a business matter. Talking about the meeting during the day, Luna was really angry. "I have never seen such a shameless person." "Then you have never seen him do something even more shameless." After that, Zach told Luna about what happened in the afternoon. When Luna heard that Heath wanted Zach to cooperate with another company, she was so angry that her body trembled, and even her face turned red. "Shameless! Absolutely shameless!" When she said this angrily, Luna's eyes suddenly lit up. "When he encouraged you to work with other big companies in the afternoon, did you have any videos?" Zach looked up at her. There was no video recording of what he said at the last minute. Besides, even if there was a video, could this nail him to death? He only said that he was helping out of good intentions. At most, he would only receive a warning. What's the use? Luna sighed. "That's true. If only there was great evidence. We could nail him to death with great evidence and make him leave with his entire family." Zach looked at Luna with a smile. "Looks like you have no more confessions." Seeing that Luna did not speak, Zach knew that she had no more confession. "All right, I won't beat on your profits anymore. I will think of a way to drag Heath out. This Scrooge." Luna sneered. She wanted to say something, but she felt that it was not appropriate, so she did not say anything. "I am not eating anymore. I am not in a good mood. I will go back first." After chatting with Zach for a while, she got angry when she talked about Heath. Luna pushed the chair back and stood up, ready to leave. However, Luna's high heels were not stable on the ground, and she immediately fell forward. She watched helplessly as her eyes got closer and closer to the corner of the table. Even if she reached out and randomly grabbed, there was nothing she could grab. If she knocked on the table, even if she could not hurt her eyes, it was inevitable that her face would break. So she was so frightened that she screamed involuntarily and even tightly closed her eyes. But at this critical moment, a pair of familiar warm hands saved her once again, stopping her at a critical moment. When Luna opened her eyes, she found that her eyes were less than 5 centimeters away from the corner of the table. It could be said that they were right in front of her. She could even clearly see the patterns on the table. Luna was so afraid. Even though she was out of danger now, she still felt fear after knowing it. If Zach had not acted fast enough a moment ago, she would have been blind by now. Episode 291. This Wolf. Thank you. Luna was so scared that she broke out in a cold sweat. Even her voice of thanks to Zach was trembling. Luna wanted to leave, but after her injured foot landed on the ground, it hurt. It felt as if it broke in the middle. She did not dare to use force. It looks like your injury is quite serious. Don't tell me you have a fracture. Zach was quite worried. At this moment, his worry was also Luna's worry. I don't think so. Is my strength that great? It was hard to say for sure what kind of bone it was that may have been broken. The human body was both resilient and fragile at the same time. Some falls only leave a bruise. Other similar falls can break the strongest bones. So in the next moment, Zach gestured for Luna to stand properly. Then, he stood in front of her with his back facing her and bent down in a horse stance. Get on. I'll carry you on my back. I'll take you to the hospital to take a look, Zach said. After sending Luna to the hospital, after the doctor's examination, it was not a big deal. Zach then sent her downstairs. After getting out of the car, he handed over the car keys that belonged to Luna and asked her, Do you need me to send you up there? Luna waved her hand repeatedly. No need. She really did not dare to use them. If the old man saw the two of them together, she would not be able to figure out what was going on. These few years, the old man had urged her for marriage quite a few times. When she had seen Zach previously, she had felt that Zach was not bad, and during this period of time, she had been talking about matchmaking with him. If he saw the two of them together tonight, then she wouldn't be able to live a peaceful life in the future, and she would be urged to get married every day. Zach did not insist. He supported Luna to the elevator and then helped her press the button. When the elevator came down, Zach was ready to leave. After leaving Luna's house, Zach walked down the street. There was no fixed residence he could go back to anyway. He could stay in any hotel. As he walked, Zach took out his phone and called the old fox. The call was quickly picked up. There was no need for formalities between the grandfather and the grandson. Zach directly talked about Heath. I need your help with this matter. Although I can do it, it's not appropriate for me to do it without permission. After all, I am now a businessman. Once I am involved in that kind of whirlpool, I'm not free to do business in the future the same way that I have known it. Quincy agreed with Zach's decision. He told Zach a long time ago that if he wanted to be a businessman, he would be a pure businessman. After he had reached his limit, he would consider whether he was qualified to step into another realm. Otherwise, if he entered too early, he would only become a limited businessman. Obviously, Quincy was in another realm, and Zach was still a long way from that realm. Quincy agreed to this matter. Got it! I will arrange for someone to handle this matter! The old fox agreed, but he did not have the intention of hanging up. Instead, he remained silent on the phone. Zach pondered for a minute and understood what the old fox meant. So, before the old fox could say anything, he, the little fox, spoke first. Grandfather, regarding Michael and Uncle, I have no choice. The one who sent someone to kill Karen was Uncle, but the assassin that was sent out was bribed by Michael. There is no need for me to say anything about this matter. You can see through it with just a glance. Both of them wanted to use me to attack each other, and even risk the lives of Karen and Mansur. Now that the grass has grown on the graves of those two, can I just watch them continue to implicate others? I've had sufficient time to mentally prepare myself for the future. In my eyes, Michael and Kyle are the same, and shouldn't be treated in kind. So regardless of whether you're willing or not, this matter will still happen. There's no difference between 1 day earlier and 1 day later. My plans are already in motion, and soon enough, it will be too late for anything to happen that you don't want to happen. I know you are in a tight spot, because if you cripple me and Michael, Kyle will be free to do as he pleases. If you cripple all three of us, then the family might fracture forever. I want to be the family lead, and it is up to you on whether you allow me to go ahead with my plans. After Zach said so much, Quincy finally spoke. Then, when I'm gone 1 day, won't others cripple you? Zach replied, Whoever cripples me I will cripple them, Quincy said helplessly. That's still the same as my own position. Zach smiled and did not reply. Episode 292. He was in a good mood. Quincy was stunned on the other side of the phone because he had been turned around by Zach and returned to his own problem. Just like what he said just now, no matter what he did, it would still be the same. The old fox's sigh came from the other end of the phone, and then the call ended. After putting the phone back into his pocket, Zach lit a cigarette. There was something he didn't say just now, but he and Quincy, the two foxes, understood. The position of patriarch had to be raised like a wolf, not because he was ruthless, but because he had to be ruthless when sitting in that position. A wolf had to be raised, even if it was painful to the point that its internal organs were torn apart. This wolf still had to be raised. 3 days later, Zach received a call from Dr. Dusty. He said on the phone that there was a science and technology law enforcement department that came to visit, saying that his design violated other people's patents and that he needed to bring all of them back for investigation. Zach knew that these people were just following the law. It was like if someone called the police would definitely come out. The law enforcement department that visited him was doing things according to the rules and regulations. They were bringing Dr. Dusty's design back for investigation. After confirming that there was no violation, they would naturally return it in one piece. However, during the process of the hydrogen power system being taken away, it was hard to say if there were any evil forces secretly transferring the information. It was probably Heath's skull, the thing that had to be investigated, taken away, and then put back. Everything was in accordance with the rules. However, the dark thieves had already taken away the key information. When Dr. Dusty's team designed the power system again, a certain company might have already produced this power system and applied for a patent before them. As a result, the peach that Dr. Dusty had painstakingly planted was quietly taken away by someone else. He still had some bitterness that he could not speak of. He had no choice but to feed himself at once. However, with Zach's preventative measures, this kind of situation did not occur. At the same time, Heath, who was sitting in the office, also received a call. What? They have applied for patents and are public globally? Heath was stunned. He originally thought that he could directly snatch the patent this time, and perhaps he could get even more. But who would have thought that Zach had already applied for the patent and made it public? This also meant he specifically arranged for patent infringement to not be established. If he infringed on patents, how could Zach possibly apply for a patent again? How could he dare to make a global announcement? This was like when the police received a report that someone had been killed, and then they hurriedly sent people to investigate. In the end, they found that the deceased was fine. What was there to investigate? All the victims were alive and well, so it was obvious the person had called to fake the police. The same was true with the technology law enforcement department. When they saw that Dr. Dusty had taken out the patent and verified it in the global public system, they withdrew their team. They had no reason to take Dr. Dusty away from the perfected hydrogen power system. After hanging up the phone, Heath angrily slammed the table. He even grabbed the machine and threw it on the ground. He was very angry. He did not expect Zach to be so cunning. He blocked the road ahead of time. There was no other way at the moment. He did not have any dirty tricks to play. He was thinking about Zach again. He wanted to talk to Zach again. He wanted Zach to sell this set of hydrogen power systems to other companies with heavy profits. He didn't have to give it to any company. Any company was fine, as long as he could peel off a layer of skin from the middle and let his hands be covered in oil. It was fine.